Okay, it is finally here, Coronation Week, and joining us live from London this morning with all of the excitement and the latest details is our royal expert, Patricia Treble. Patricia, good to see you. And first off, you've been there in the UK for a couple of days on the ground. Can you describe the excitement? What is it like there in the UK now that Coronation Week has finally arrived?
Well, I spent most of the weekend in Windsor, and let me tell you, it's a completely different world from Canada. In Canada, you wouldn't even know there was a coronation, except for, TV ads. But here it is 24/7. All the TV shows, you go into the local grocery stores, all you see is coronation banners, coronation items. If you want to have a picnic, they've got it all ready for you. Everything. It is full-on, full-bore coronation.
Oh, you're bringing me back. Remember when I went to Windsor to cover Harry and Meghan's wedding? Yes, it was the same for that as well. All right, the theme will be called Call to Serve. And more details have been revealed as to how the big day will unfold. Can you take us through it, Patricia?
Yeah, so this really harkens back to the fact that the King, he was Prince of Wales for so long, and the Prince of Wales motto is "I serve." So it's only fitting. And what we're really hearing is it's going to be they're taking what is an ancient ceremony, and they're modernizing, they're tweaking it a bit to deal with the fact that we are in a multicultural world, both within Britain and within the Commonwealth. So we're going to have things like we're going to have leaders from the Jewish, the Hindu, the Buddhist, the Sikh communities here in Britain are going to be taking part in key moments of the coronation. And we're also going to have, here's an interesting thing, all 4 languages of Britain are going to be used. So English, Welsh, and we're going to have Scots Gaelic and Irish Gaelic as well. And so just kind of those tweaks to what is, a solid system, just to update it a bit.
All right, we also got new photos released this weekend, Patricia, that will show us, what Charles and Camilla will be wearing for the big day. And we know, of course, this is tradition. The royals, they often send messages through their fashion. What are these images? What are they telling us?
Recycling, economizing, and bowing to the fact that this is going to be a very expensive event. So what's happening is the King and Queen have not 1 but 2 sets of formal robes, and these are the big long trains of silk, purple silk velvet and ermine and gold embroidery that go behind them. And when the King is going to be using recycling his grandfather's robes from 1937, and the Queen Camilla will be using, as she enters the Abbey, will be wearing the robe of state that the Queen Elizabeth II used to always wear, state openings of Parliament. So everyone's familiar with that. But as she leaves, and this is the fun one, she's getting a new robe. So her coronation robes are being made at the Royal School of Needlework, and they're going to be in the themes of the nature. So we at least get a little bit of new with all the royal recycling.
Okay. Now, when it comes to William and Harry, Patricia, what more can you tell us about their roles?
Well, we found out because the order of service was released over the weekend. So we know that William is going to actually have a fairly prominent role. He's going to appear at least twice in the coronation. Obviously there'll be shots of him there. But 2 roles. At one point, the King there's a lot of wardrobe changes, to be honest. And at one point, he's going to be actually helping the clergy put a robe and a stole on his father. And then probably the most important part is near the very end, once the King has been crowned, and he takes what is called the homage, which is basically swears an oath of loyalty to him, and he becomes his liege man of life and limb, which is a lovely phrase that was heard a lot in 1953. But it'll simply be William, the Archbishop of Canterbury, and then there'll be the homage from the people, if the people want to make an oath.
All right, and what more do we know about the Canadian contingent, Patricia? By the way, I see my other monitor. I think we have part of the Canadian contingent standing by to join us here on TMS, but we know the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, will be in attendance. What can you tell us about Canada's role in the coronation this weekend?
Well, the Prime Minister will not only be in attendance, he'll actually be in the procession entering the Abbey. So all the realm countries, remember there's 15, including Britain, Canada, Australia, and the like, and they're actually going to be in the procession. So we're going to have, with all the flags of each nation, the Governor General, so Mary Simon, and the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, will walk with the other realms into the procession. There will also be, for the anointing screen, so this is a screen that kind of shields the king at the most sacred moment of the coronation. It's going to be it's done in emblems of the Commonwealth. So Canada's name is on it and things like that. And then at the very end of the coronation, again, there's more Canadian content, because the king, as he leaves the Abbey, Westminster Abbey, will be meeting with all the Governor Generals at the Great West Door before he gets into the Gold Stagecoach for the grand procession back to Buckingham Palace.
And before we let you go, Patricia, I just wanted to ask you about Prince Harry. We were talking about this at the top of the show, that he will be leaving quite early. I've also heard that he will be sitting a number of rows back. What can you tell us?
We don't know exactly where he'll be seated, but I imagine they figured out the camera angles. I mean, they did it for the Platinum Jubilee. I think they're going to do it again for this one. Here's the thing, though. He apparently is going to be rushing right away to the airport to get on a plane. This whole city is starting to already go in lockdown. You're starting to see more and more security warnings up saying basically you're not going to be able to move around on Coronation Day. There's going to be so many world leaders, so much security. So my question is he even going to make it back for the official portraits before he has to run off to the airport? And how is he going to actually get to the airport? I don't know if I'd bet on him catching a flight.
All right, we will all find out in due course. Our royal expert Patricia Treble for us live in London this morning to kick off Coronation Week. Patricia, many thanks as always.
Oh, my pleasure.